Breaking news tonight. Diddy jelly. Apparently, Sean Combs explodes when assassin Luigi Mangione arrives. A Diddy tantrum. He's refusing to leave his cell after he hears for the first time in life, N-O. Jailhouse guards saying no to his demands. As we learn, Diddy sex trolls scoping crowds for sex victims during parties. This as damning Diddy documentaries hit the airwaves. Who's taking notes? The feds. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us. Okay, I guess it's all based on your particular taste. To Lynn Shaw joining me, founder, executive director, Lynn's Warriors, who's having none of this. Lynn's Warriors is dedicated to eradicating sex trafficking and the abuse of sex victims. Also host of Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Lynn Shaw, thank you for being with us. What about this? A celebrity hair fight behind bars between Sean Combs and Luigi Mangione? Is Diddy jelly? What? I've never heard anything like it in my life, but apparently that's the word.
That's the word I'm hearing also, but I have to tell you, Nancy, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with this whole thing. Boo-hoo-hoo. This dirty Diddy hot dog on a bun in a jail cell, that's a lot more food than victims and survivors we work with get served on a daily basis. And as far as Luigi, another distraction because I live right down the street from where that horrible event took place. And you know what? An hour later, people were just walking over the spot in New York City. And this is what we're talking about and celebrating. How about the focus I ultimately believe this Diddy case will come down to? It's going to be very tough. Children, minors, were they brought over state lines, sex trafficking? So that's where I think everybody should be going in and really trying to find victims' voices and hear their stories. I realize everybody's coming out of the woodwork right now, but a little too late. However, I think that's the angle. Why? Why did everybody wait decades? What can you imagine if one of these women came forward very quietly and tried? Now they did. There were a couple of cases they did say they tried. Nobody would listen to them. Why? Why can't we switch that up and go in and find kids? Because so many have told me over the decades about dirty Diddy and still nobody did anything about it. I ask why now?
Please. I can tell you why, Lynn Shaw. I know this may be hard for a lot of people to believe, but I didn't speak out when I was a prosecutor about a judge that hit on me over and over and over. He walked me to my car one night and actually kissed me right on the mouth. I'm like, oh. Did I complain?
Didn't slap him?
I mean, I immediately jumped in my car, went bye, and left and avoided him as much as I could. But I feared for my cases. I feared for my cases that if I complained, other judges that were his friends would hold that against me and take it out on my victims. So I figured one kiss on the lips, that's a small price to pay for not worrying every time I struck a jury. Is it right? H-E-L-L-N-O, it's not right.
I mean, I get it.
But
I get
still,
it. But Nancy,
the fear was very much alive in me that somehow my victims would suffer.
Yeah, but Nancy, in the wake of the last couple of years and the Me Too movement, we should have heard something a little bit more before this Cassie Ventura video came out. I mean, I had women, but I didn't have proof about any of this, that this was actually happening. So I couldn't step forward. I urged them and they would not do it. And I'm going back again to Harvey Weinstein when all of that was breaking open and they still wouldn't come forward. But if we had just one victim that would have come forward, I have to ask again, it's very easy right now for everybody to create specials and cash in on the dirty Diddy story. But where were they when all this was going on? I remain, if we don't change the way we think about victims, survivors, we are not going to get anywhere. And if this guy gets away with this, I don't know. Victims and survivors will never, ever come forward because they will see when somebody has power and money and attention like this, they don't matter.
Lynn Shaw, founder, executive director, Lynn's Warriors. Lynn, that is so brazen, if true, that Combs would actually turn on a red light visible from the outside of the bedroom to warn people he was having underage sex and to not come in. Just imagine it. I mean, I've got a teen girl and a teen boy who I believe anyway are innocents. Okay. Imagine sitting on a jury. I mean, it's making my blood boil just thinking about the brazen nature of warning everybody, don't come in. And they all just stood by and let it happen, Lynn.
Yeah. Everybody's blood should be boiling with this spoiled bad boy. I mean, after all, he called his company Bad Boy Entertainment. He told us who he was and is. And you know what? Distraction with these, I won't come out of my cell. I don't want the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I want to remind everybody, January is National Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Month. Let's really talk about that. Let's really talk about the kids. Let's really talk about the education there. Maybe if we can root out behind the scenes the minors, the women that were involved in this, and protect them so they will talk. We can have some lessons learned from this whole thing. This cannot continue.